Yeah, we both got injured on our first YouTube original, the Super Slow Show.
Yeah.
Dan broke his wrist.
It was my thumb.
His thumb trying to impress Tony Hawk by dropping in on his 14-foot vert ramp.
Yeah, that was an experience.
Yeah,
I'm glad I did it though. It was totally worth it.
Yeah, you guys just showed that to me this morning. I'm sorry, but it was kind of funny.
It was worth it. Like, I wouldn't have done it if it, first of all, it's going to be on YouTube. It's on YouTube, forever probably, pretty much. It was in front of Tony Hawk, a childhood hero.
Yeah.
And if I hadn't have done it, I'd have had such a sense of like regret of like, I could have done it and everything. But the fact that I did it, tried it, I absolutely smashed my hand to bits and couldn't walk properly for weeks. But it was totally worth it. Like,
honestly, we went to dinner after he went to the hospital. It took him like 90 seconds to cross the street on the way back to the car.
What happened was,
I felt so bad.
I landed on my like hand first.
Yeah.
Right? But then I'm a chunky bloke these days, and like I landed on my hips on my side with the rest of my like weight, and it like squished my pelvis together. I thought I'd like broken my pelvis at first because it was in so much pain, and I just couldn't walk properly for weeks. And when I landed, the first thing that Gav said to me was, "Did you fart?"
Well, okay, it smelled really bad right by the landing site, and we were just basically walked into, he had farted on impact. It turns out, but I think because of the compression, it was sort of like a deep gut.
So what had happened
from within?
Oh, no. If you imagine, like you're falling like 15 feet, and it's like I was squashed, like I was fully emptied out, like my like small and large intestines. I was completely like compressed by the landing, and it just forced all this like arse gas out of my arse.
Sure.
And Tony Hawk was just like walking into it politely, not mentioning anything, and like clearly it was just
after we'd done all the reaction, I leant down. I was like, "Did you fart?" And you were just like, "I don't know."
I was like, "I don't know, maybe it wasn't the main
thing." And I think we
thing.
actually left that in the episode, me asking you whether you farted.
You see, obviously I didn't like feel a fart come out. I wasn't like the first thought of going through my head, probably I farted. Do you know what I mean? So
that was one of the few things where I feel like a lot of the stuff you do, I would have given a go. Like I used to want to be a stuntman as a kid. I used to love throwing myself around. That is the one thing you've done that I absolutely would not have done. It was like Johnny Knoxville levels of commitment, because you basically knew that you were going to break something. I couldn't definitely break a bone.
I pretty much just threw myself off that, knowing that I was going to.
Well, you did, because your body left the half pipe, and the skateboard went one way, and your body went the other way.
Yeah, it looked good for a very small period of time.
Right.
And
I mean, even with the Phantom extending that period of time, it wasn't a lot of time.
All right.
In the commentary, I say we might as well just film someone fall off a roof.
Yeah,
because that's the effect the skateboard had. It had absolutely nothing to do with anything.
Yeah, it's true.
But it was a bloody good effort.
I'm glad I did it, and it was totally worth it. Because look, my thumb's fine. He said it was incredibly gnarly.
Yeah.
And I committed. He was impressed.
Coming from Hawkeye himself.
Coming from Big Tony.
Yeah.
And, he gave me a skateboard and was like, that was amazing. He signed it, everything. He put Way to Slam Dan on it. And I was like, how cool is that, right?
With child actors, you can only work a certain number of hours a day. There's a student teacher there that has to make sure that the kid is still studying and taking classes and all this stuff. And there's a lot of regulation over that. So when it comes to YouTube, a parent could, potentially be taking their kid out of school and just filming a bunch of YouTube videos and essentially f***ing up this kid's life for the benefit of their own wallet.
I feel like it's like any of these things. When something new comes along, legislation takes time to catch up to it afterwards. So things like, like drones or whatever, like it was like a free for all, and then like the legislation kicks in afterwards, sort of thing. When it comes to light that there's a problem, then it catches up. I feel like that's probably what's going to happen. I don't know how quickly it's going to happen because it takes time.
And there's probably a sense of that in the parents where they're like, oh, we've hit some gold here. We need to like get it all now.
Yeah, we need to rinse this kid for all his worth.
And then the kid ends up getting affected by it.
Yeah, it's really sad, but like, how are you going to enforce that? It's like a really difficult question.
It's also iffy on the level of like the kid doesn't really have a choice at a young age on whether there's no consent really.
No.
So it's like
you're the person that's like giving, it's like your parent or guardian. But if it's the parent or guardian that's making you do it in the first place, it's like who do you
Yeah, the kid might grow up to be like super embarrassed by it, and then it's just online, and they may never have had control of the channel themselves.
Yeah, it's just weird, man. The children's stuff is just strange. And then, the highest grossing YouTube channel right now is Ryan Toys Review. Not Ryan's Toy Review, Ryan Toys Review. I think he's 9 now or
7.
something. But from everything that I've heard, his dad actually does a really good job of being like, look, if you don't want to do anything, we don't do it. And his dad was here and kind of spoke to it. And he said, he only works 5 hours a week on YouTube. And, we have a way that if he wants to change anything or he's not excited about that, we can easily change whatever it is.
Clearly put in a lot of good stuff into effect, because I assume under very high scrutiny being at the level they're at. Because I met him.
That's a good point, actually.
Very good for them.
Well, the thing about the obviously the kid though, is with a channel like Gav was saying, at that high profile, it's going to be scrutinized.
Yeah.
But then, which is kind of good, because it stops anyone from exploiting their child to such a degree that they become that successful. Do you know what I mean? Because then they would be scrutinized, and there would be a check that's put in place.
That's the hope. I just hope there's not like these sort of like lower sort of YouTubers that are just grinding the out of their kids in the hopes that, they'll get somewhere. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm not a fan, but
I wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
I mean, there was an arrest recently for like a mother and a son for basically putting their youngest kids through that, like a rigorous shooting schedule, and like locking them in closets when they wouldn't do it.
I honestly think it's gonna like take. I mean,
just abuse.
How it always is with legislation. It's gonna take somebody dying to actually get something through. So,
wow, we've really covered a range of topics today.
Thank you for watching this week's highlight clip. If you want to hear the full audio episode, it's available right now wherever podcasts are found, or you can just click the links below. And if you want to see the full video of this episode, that comes out Friday, so be sure to subscribe to this channel to catch it. And to watch our most recent episode, click the box on the right. All right, bye.